Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our weekly virtual therapy session with Dr. Dave. My goal for our time together today is to help you safely navigate the physical, spiritual, emotional, and psychological challenges which are a natural part of the Pokemon card collecting hobby. I know you must be thinking, David, are you really qualified? Because I don't want to take a chance on some cut rate imposter advice negatively impacting my Pokemon card collection. But don't worry about that because you know what my commitment is always going to be to you guys. Overpromise and underdeliver. So with that, a quick couple of family updates. First of all, everyone should know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to increase my subscriber base. So whether that's going to eventually turn into better technology, tattoos on request, hosting from the pool, freebie giveaways, or anything else that you and I can come into our minds and think about, it's going to happen, okay? Rest assured. Today, though, I'm going to start with something special. My 5-month-old granddaughter, baby Eliana, okay? Let me grab her. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Let's go see everybody. Come on. Oh, yes. Say hello. There she is. Say hi. How are you doing? There's a little baby. What you got to say? You got some stories? What you got some stories? Just look in that camera.
What the heck, Dad? Am I not cute enough anymore? Well, fine. Here's your dumb, ungraded Pokemon cards.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm going to drop off the baby and I'll be right back. Can you guys hang on 1 second, please? I'll be right back here for a second. Let me just get that closed for a second. Do that over there. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Clean up on aisle 2. Clean up on aisle 2. All right, well, let's just move on right here. So this week, my 23-year-old son was outside training his younger brother in basketball. You might have seen his younger brother just a moment ago. He's got a few issues. I'm going to deal with it afterwards. Don't worry. So my older son is wearing a hoodie because it's cold, and he decides to grab his BB/rifle gun to try and cut down a couple of pigeons whose house we are living in. What do you mean you're living in their house? Well, there's thousands of them on our roof, so apparently now it's their house and we're just living in it. Well, what my son fails to think about is that we have a monitored alarm system on our house. 24/7, guards are watching cameras. So you can imagine when they see a hoodied guy with a rifle standing in front of the house that it might be time to call the police, which is exactly what they did. And so sooner rather than later, there's 3 police cars in front of my house with guns drawn, ready to mow down the suspected gunman. And as I always tell you, you just can't make this stuff up. All right, this past Sunday was my 59th birthday. Not proud of it. After next year, I won't even count anymore. But if you are one of my subscribers, you've already given me the greatest gift you can. Thank you for that very much. Maybe not the greatest gift. You could probably find a card or two that I'm still missing in my collection. That would be the greatest, but really a very close second. When you're someone who basically has in life all that they want, which is how I would consider myself, what do you turn to on your birthday? Well, we all know what you turn to, of course. You turn to food. So that's what I did. I turned to pizza and Chinese food, pork chow fun, honey walnut shrimp, banana chocolate chip waffles, cookies, chocolate cake, anything and everything, I ate it. Something I've unfortunately been doing since I've been a reclusive child in middle and high school. I would say that food has always been my best friend and my worst enemy. And I'm 100% unfortunately addicted to sweets, and I've been yo-yo dieting since I was about 12. So true confession time, like that wasn't already enough. I've had tremendously low self-esteem, I know you couldn't tell because of the top hat, because of issues around my weight and appearance my entire life. When I was young, I went to an event where a girl noticed the fat in my chest and asked me why I had breasts, and basically everything went south from there. From shopping in the JCPenney's Huskies department, that's what they called it back then, pants for huskier boys, to my dad taking me out to go suit shopping, and when he talked about the suit coat, I had to make sure there were 2 slits or openings in the back because one of those only made my butt look even bigger than it actually was. For my entire life, I've been walking around sucking my stomach in as long as I can remember. There are actually many years, I hate to say this, when I was in my late teens and early 20s when I didn't even look in a mirror for more than a few seconds or two. So if you combine that with a dad who wasn't really involved in sports, couldn't train me or knew anything about that, and a mom who was dieting every day of her whole life that I can ever remember, it was sort of a recipe, no pun intended, for body image disaster. I've been binging and dieting or I would say also binging and over-exercising my entire life. 8 surgeries later, including 3 complete bicep tears and 2 heels which can barely hold me up, I decided enough was enough. So at the ripe old age of 58 last year, I enrolled myself in an eating disorder program. Try to find out what is this all about? How can I finally maybe get inside my head a little bit? They diagnosed me with bulimia nervosa. Yep, you heard me right. But instead of binging and purging as you would think maybe young girls do, and that's what most of them there were doing, I was binging and over-exercising by being in the gym 2 hours a day, every day, doing cardio and lifting to try to combat my tendency to overeat. Again, worried about gaining weight, so got to do something about it. And by the way, binging and over-exercising is actually a clinical diagnosis this day for bulimia nervosa, and many of the young girls you think about that always would purge, they don't actually do that anymore. You'll see them in the gym for hours and hours at a time, dealing with their guilt over not being able to eat and keep their shape. Well, despite me learning a lot from the program, the challenges are and will be an ongoing part of my life. After 58 years, you can expect that. But what the pandemic has done is it actually forced me not to be able to go to the gym and forced me to address my over-the-top psychological need, and that I just couldn't go there despite the fact that I was almost going through withdrawals to need to be there. So I hope that all of that in this time will help me moderate better my relationship with food. Maybe a good thing to come out of the pandemic for me. Of course, all of you know, despite my joke at the beginning, I'm not a doctor, but if I can help any of you with questions about dieting, nutrition, binging, intermittent fasting, anything to do with food and nutrition, that kind of stuff, I've been studying it and dealing with it my entire life. Don't hesitate to ask. I've tried my entire life to improve, evolve, understand, and get better at whatever it is that was challenging me. And I hope that all of you are understanding what your challenges are and not sweeping them under the rug, and don't wait 50 some years to figure it out. Figure it out now and try to make strides each and every day to make sure your lives are better able to handle the challenges you face as well. Please comment and share with challenges you face, with mechanisms you use to cope, and anything that I can answer as far as questions. Glad to do that as well. So, what's this got to do with Pokemon cards, David? Well, come on, guys. You know the answer to that. Nothing. I can't believe you'd actually thought it had anything to do with Pokemon cards. It's David here talking to you today. Well, okay, let me do a terrible segue. Let me say that I consider myself to be a jumbo guy, all right? And I don't know if being jumbo, the word jumbo, is a good thing, a bad thing, or a maybe nothing thing. But let's talk about jumbo in the good sense. Well, the pandemic is resurging, and we're all going to be locked in our houses soon, more so than like we were in the beginning. I hope that doesn't happen. And we need to go out and we need to get the jumbo packages of toilet paper rolls before the hoarders get there ahead of us, right? A good thing. For most of the rest of the time, jumbo's not a great connotation, and it really has, again, about to do with that body dysmorphic image and some of the things that I've already alluded to. Well, in our hobby, jumbo or oversized as terms are referred to these oversized cards, these larger cards that have a terrible reputation relative to their regular size counterparts. And why is this? Why is this? I think possibly for several reasons. One is because you can't pull them out of a booster pack, so there's no thrill of the chase that you can be consumed by. Number two is they're more one-off types of distribution, so you can't really build a complete set in a certain shorter period of time. So the thrill of completing a set isn't necessarily there. There's an issue of storage and display. Some people would say, David, I don't know how to store them, I don't know how to display them, they're just kind of a pain, I'm not going to deal with them. And then finally, there might be some people who don't collect because they think they're not going to be great from a financial investment standpoint, as some of the smaller ones are, the regular cards, over time. So they're very much not paid attention to. Yet interestingly enough, Pokemon continues to manufacture and distribute them. And I don't know if you guys see and how much of you guys follow this. I'm sure most of you are well aware that each and every month there's another stunning type of collection set that collection box that comes out. And in those boxes are these wonderful cards with stunning art, and typically those cards are reproductions of cards from the actual set, or they could be reproductions of various art, art variants from the set. They might also be reproductions of promo cards, and sometimes just brand new cards in and of themselves. So it's really neat to see how many different types of cards are actually reproduced in a larger format. Before you turn off the video here, stop. David, we hate jumbo cards. Don't even talk to us. You're wasting our time. Fine, I give you that. I don't want to give you that. Don't turn off the video. Here's the thing. Your best friend just invited you over to their house. Maybe it's your second best friend or just an acquaintance. And they put you in the living room and they said to you, David, take a look at this beautiful painting I just hung on the living room wall. I have been looking for it forever. It is the final piece to our full remodel. Doesn't it make our house and our living room look fantastic? And you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, are they blind? Do they just can't see how terrible that painting is? Well, you don't say that, right? Because you're a friend. You're going to tell a white lie and you're going to say something like this. That's a beautiful painting. And hey, tell me, where did you get it? What was your inspiration? So you and I are friends. All of us together. We're friendly together. Friendships that we're creating for a lifetime. If you comment me, I talk to you and we become friends. Some of you don't. If you want to know the truth, comment me. We'll become friends. I like friends. I don't have any friends. So when you're looking at the living room window and that painting, you're positive. Do the same thing here. David, we don't like Pokemon jumbo cards, but we're going to hang with you because you do. And we're going to do that for you. And for you guys that are listening right now, this is really important. I'm going to give you some life lesson about white lies. And don't ever forget this one. When your lady asks whether you like the red dress or the black dress, or which dress she looks better in, you can only say the following. Memorize it now. That's impossible for me to answer, honey, because you look so beautiful in both. If you say anything other than that, you will get trapped on a corner and it will go downhill steady from there, okay? Be careful, remember what I said. Jumbo or oversized cards, obviously larger than a regular size card, tend to be as much as up to 8 inches in height. We're not going to talk about one specific category, which are those box toppers that people are familiar with that come inside the sealed booster boxes of some of them of the early 2000s. There's about 16 of those, I believe. We're going to talk about the rest of them. And interestingly enough, I think you'll find this number something you may not know. There's 172 English language Pokemon cards in jumbo format that have been released since the beginning of Pokemon. I'm going to update that because when I think about a couple variants I have, maybe there's 175 or 176. Many have stunning pictures, full art, going to show you in a minute, rainbow art, 3D lenticular type of stuff, thicker card stock, thicker hollow stock, different surfaces on the front, etc., etc. What I love about these cards is that not only are they beautiful, that bigger format, you can really enjoy the art of the card, but there's also not too many of them at 175 or so, and they're not so expensive that you can't possibly still go out and try and put this collection together. And I think at some point, I think of framing some of these and put them on the wall because they're just so beautiful. I do want to make one quick note before I show you the cards. Starting with the XY series, in North America, the boxes that receive products with figures, the collection boxes, they are, so I'll give you an example like Mega Charizard Collection. They come with figures, okay? But in the rest of the world, they don't come with figures. They're altered the boxes to put in jumbo cards instead of the figures that you would receive in the box. So instead of Mega Charizard Collection here, Mega Charizard Box, say in the UK, and that's much harder to come by, and those cards can often be much harder to find because they're only issued in other parts of the world. So last question for you. If you're collecting Charizard, Pikachu, Eevee, whoever in your own collection, don't you need these cards to really say you caught them all? As the English collection I'm trying to put together, I really feel like you do. So comment for me. Tell me, do you collect the jumbos? If yes, just some or all of them. And if no, why not? All right. Let me show you some of the cards. I'm going to go kind of quick because there's a lot of them, but I just want to give you a flavor. So I have no idea how this is going to work with this camera. We're going to try something like this. Going to hold them up. This is the very first one I'm aware of, the Charizard number 4 of 102 from the base set. I think they call it the Coro back from about 1999. Here's the base set, Pikachu 158 of 102. Again, I'm just going to show you some. I'm focusing on the beginning of the cards more when they were issued because these are more rare than some of the latest ones. The legendary birds you can see here. Electabuzz from the Best of Games series with the winter stamp. Now take a look at this for a minute. This one is kind of a squarish type corners with a very thick stock. Take a look at this one, which is rounded corners. I don't know how you can see this. I can't tell because I can't see you right now, but you see one is rounded versus square. Look at the kind of stock on this versus this one. Very thin stock. I don't know if you guys have these variants or not. Hitmonchan, Winter Stamp, Rocket Sizer Winter Stamp, Winner, And again, this is the thick stock, and this is the very thin stock, the rounded corners. Here's your square card, Rocket Sneasel, the winner stamp. Pull back a little bit here so you can see. And Rocket Sneasel, these are obviously promos, the thinner stock that were produced. Dark Ivysaur, same thing. And Dark Ivysaur with the thinner type stock again. And so, again, Dark Venusaur, the thinner stock. Now, I'm going to tell you, here's a couple of them. Rocket's Mewtwo and Rocket's Hitmonchan are two of the most popular ones I sell in my eBay business, in the smaller version, of course. And I don't have any variants on this. I don't have a thinner type of stock. So I don't know, did they make a thinner stock? One of you guys must know that, one of you guys or gals, so please let me know. I just don't have them in the collection. Are there thinner versions of this I just don't have? Okay, let's move on to the three promos, Combuskin, Grovyle, and Marshtomp with the winner stamps. These are the Black Star promos 04, I think 09, and 11, something like that. So just want to show you those, get a feel for the size. And as time goes on, sometimes you'll see these out there, but not very often these days, especially in good unused condition. These are a couple of energy ones that came with it. These are harder to find as well, the winner stamped Metal Energy and the winner stamped Multi-Energy. Years ago, when I actually put a couple of these Oran Berries on the system for eBay, you could not find them ever. They were just not there. And there are a couple out there right now in large type auctions. Someone's selling off for about $3,000 all of their promos. I noticed there were a few of these Oran Berries in there. Shadow Lugia, the XD, the tour that they did. So these, again, available. I see them out there for like, $30, $35 for a nice one, etc. And you'll notice that right at that point, it breaks. So look at this real quick. Not for play use on the back. Most of them all said that. And at that point forward, they don't say that anymore. If you look at the back of this, it doesn't say you can't play with it. So if I'm you, I'm trying to get these, and if it's the right format, at least into your decks, just to cause a scene by people saying, why does that person have such a big card? I'm not sure how you get the right deck card size, thing. But okay, DP 26 was that. I'm in the Diamond and Pearl promos. Here's the beautiful Arceus, DP 50. Here's a Palkia and Dialga Legend card, 102 of 102 from the set. Again, a reprint from the set. I love this one a lot. This is Arua and Celebi. This one has no number on the bottom, but it is a Black Star promo. You can just see the holograph at the top. Just a beautiful, really neat card. Zoroark and Legendary Pokemon, another card that's got the Black Star promo with no number on the bottom. I mentioned lenticulars. This is one of the lenticulars that I talked about with a 3D effect. Again, I don't know how much you can get on there, but it's got the 3D effect. They don't have names, so it's Blank Snivy. I think it's Oshawott and Tepig or whatever. There's three of them. I'm showing you one of the three. And then there's Zoroark, which is black and white promo number 19. That same kind of lenticular 3D effect on the card. That's really neat. Whole different surface. There's only 4 of those in all of the Pokemon cards that I'm aware of that have ever been produced. This is black and white number 73. I just wanted to show you the full art. Just so neat, the Darkrai, the shiny, just a beautiful card. Charizard, everybody loves Charizard, so I pulled a couple of these. This is an XY from the XY series number 17. M Charizard EX. This just happens to be one of the harder cards to come by. So this is just another beautiful full card. A lot of these, again, came from other boxes across the pond or whatever. So Primal Kyogre, another card that came from a different country. So harder to find these cards. The big art, there's a 96, 97, and 98 of 8 in these Primal cards. This is a very common card. This is XY122 Blastoise, but I just think it's beautiful. Just a really... again, you can really appreciate, sit down and enjoy the art of these cards so much neater. This might be my favorite card of all. You guys always ask me what my favorite cards are. I don't really know. But in these cards, this is one of them for sure. So this is the Pikachu EX and XY124, and I just love the look on his face, like whatever's going to needs to be done, I'm going to get it done. Here's a card starting with the GXs now, the Tapu Koko, and again, this is an alternate art card, 47 of 145 from one of the sets, but you can see the beautiful colors. Just how beautiful and clear the picture is. This is an Incineroar GX. What I love about this is I'm going to hold it closer. It's got that kind of crosshatch hollow pattern on the card. So it's really neat. The surface feels and looks different when you're looking it up close. And the other one that's like this is this Charizard GX, which everybody loves Charizard. And so I wanted to show that, again, from one of the collection boxes. Just a beautiful, beautiful card. This is the only card that's rainbow art, Ho-Oh GX. So taking off the sets and stuff, and this is a promo card number, Sun and Moon number 80. Marshadow GX, another one that, again, very hard card to come by. Only see 1 or 2 of these in the country at a time, typically, but just, again, beautiful colors on the card. Here's one of the cards I said that they'll create kind of out of nowhere, so this was in some of the collection boxes, the Legendary Pokemon card, with that kind of Pokeball in the lower with the holographic. I showed you this because I mentioned, suppose you're collecting EVs, do you have all the EVs and the jumbos? Well, there were 3 EVs this year that, SM 174, 174, 175, and 176 only came in the European collection boxes, and maybe not this year, but within the next, last couple of years. Very hard cards to come by in good condition. If you're going to try to do anything like complete this collection, try to get those sooner rather than later. Contact me for which ones are more difficult to obtain, and I might tell you what to focus on. And here's the Blastoise GX, again, another beautiful card that was more recently issued. They're also issued in the tag teams as well, some of them. And then I want to show you this. These are the latest cards that came out. These are the Intelliens and the Rillabooms and Cinderachis and stuff that came out in the new boxes. Notice that they're now smaller. So Pokemon is making them smaller. I'm not sure if that's a packaging issue, but you can kind of see it's a smaller card in general. But yeah, really neat cards as well. Maybe make them more storable for people depending on the sheet sizes. Then I'm going to show you these last two, 141 of 202 set variants and 142 of 202, Snorlax V and Snorlax V Max. These are, again, UK specific issues. You can't get them in this country. You have to go find them somewhere else. And they're each, you guys might be familiar with the Toxtricity box that just came out. They've already got a Toxtricity stamped with Sword and Shield type of stamp on it. That's across the pond being sold as well. So a lot of things to keep up with, a fun challenge, but not insurmountable, and that's what I love about them so much. So that's it. I'm going to stop. Thank you again for joining me today. I'm trying to shorten up the videos. I talk way too much. I'm having too much time making friends with all you guys, too good a time. But I'm going to keep trying to shorten them. I know these cards are not everybody's favorite, but thank you for allowing me to share my accomplishment with you. I don't know if I remember to say in the video, just as of yesterday, I finally completed the entire set. So really excited to have them all, and I promise to cover a more appreciated item or valuable item next time, my promise to you. Thanks again for spending the time. Until then, until we see each other again, stay safe, and I wish you guys all the best.